You are listening to the Paranormal Chronicles radio show. Here is your host, paranormal researcher and author of the best-selling A Most Haunted House, Gavin Lee Davis.
Welcome. My name is G L Davies, founder of the ParanormalChronicles.com and author of the worldwide true bestseller that is terrifying readers across the world. Dare you read Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest alone in bed at night? Thank you for joining me on my journey to delve deep into the unknown. Not everything is terrifying and chilling, and much of the paranormal world offers hope, healing, love and understanding. And tonight we journey into a world where magic and miracles do exist, and you too can have that power to change your life for the better. I have 2 copies of Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest to give away as part of the follower prize draw. Just follow this podcast and it could be you that wins a free paranormal book courtesy of sick-books.com. So congratulations to Gary. Well done, Gary. Thank you for following since day one. Finally you won. And Zoe Moonshade. That's Gary and Zoe Moonshade. Email paranormalchronicles@aol.com to claim your prize or contact us through the Paranormal Chronicles Facebook or Instagram accounts. The Paranormal Chronicles podcast series brought to you by sick-books.com. So visit sick-books.com today and start your paranormal reading adventure. If this is your first time listening, then please follow so you never miss an episode. Plus, all followers get entered into a followers monthly prize draw to win a fantastic book from sick-books.com. Press follow now, download and listen to our huge archive of amazing content. Big news for us, we are now on Patreon. Become a VIP today and access ad-free and early access episodes, have extra draws in the book giveaway, access to digital content, be part of an exclusive VIP Amazon prize draw, and get this, you get 2 free digital books, and one of them, it's my controversial bestseller, Ghost Sex, The Violation. All of that for a £3 or $1 subscription. Head over to www.patreon.com/TPCVIP. That's patreon.com/TPCVIP. Go VIP today. Final announcement before we get on with this incredible show. I am thrilled and honoured to announce that my 4th book is set for release. Harvest, the true story of alien abduction, is ready for pre-order. Release date Halloween 2020. Pre-order Harvest, the true story of alien abduction by me, G L Davis, today from wherever books are sold on tonight's show. Do magic and miracles really exist? What secret was hidden in Paulo Coelho's worldwide bestseller, The Alchemist? What did author Colm Holland discover, and what did Paulo tell him that changed his life forever? How can you become the alchemist of your world? Tonight we sit and chat to the awe-inspiring and wonderful Colm Holland, author of the new bestseller, chart top in the world right now. That book is The Secret of the Alchemist. And on this very show, Colm will help you bring magic and miracles into your world. Don't believe it? Then listen to this. Your life changes now. On with the show. Colm, this will help our listeners understand what The Secret of the Alchemist is. So my question to you is, why the choice of title, The Secret of the Alchemist?
Yeah, thanks, Gavin. Great question. I have to tell you a little story, if I may. And it's a story about one of the most significant encounters that I ever had in my entire life with an individual. The individual was Paulo Coelho, the author of The Alchemist, except when I met Paulo Coelho, he was not the best-selling world-famous author. He was an ordinary author who had sold reasonably well a book in Portuguese in Brazil, which is where he came from, and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time when I was the marketing director for HarperCollins Publishers in Sydney, Australia, back in 1993. So we're talking 27, 28 years ago nearly. What happened was that his book, The Alchemist, had only appeared in Portuguese. It was translated into English, and it landed on my desk because I had to decide how many copies of this book should we distribute in Australia and New Zealand. I looked at it and I had one of those strange hairs on the back of the neck moments when I saw the cover. If you Google the Alchemist and put in original cover, you'll see the cover. That cover, which you should never do, you should never judge a book by its cover, I did, because it affected me visually. And I grabbed the manuscript. It was Friday afternoon. I went home and I broke all the rules and said, I'm going to read this book over the weekend. I normally never took work home at all. I was constantly having to read books like Course of Miracles, books by lots of famous people like Wayne Dyer, and I would never take them home. But this one I took home. He was an unknown author, remember. I read it in a single sitting, and on the following Monday morning, I rang my colleague who's responsible for the worldwide distribution, and I said, I want 200,000 copies, when mostly I only ever ask for 200, 300, 400, 500 copies. He said, have you gone crazy? Are you drunk? I said, no. I've read this book and I've done enough work in my own life. I have done quite a spiritual journey of my own to know that this is going to be one of the best-selling books ever. And he said, okay, that's a very outlandish statement and we could go broke if we printed books just on that. Let me come back to it. Anyway, we did print a lot of copies. We did push the boat out in terms of marketing, and the rest is history. 85 million copies globally of one book. In fact, for a while, he held the Guinness Book of Records for the most books ever sold for a living author in their lifetime. He also holds the Guinness Book of Records for 70 plus languages that it's been translated into. And while I'm on this podcast, Gavin, I just want to tell you, I'm looking at a photo of me and Paulo on my desk in a restaurant in Sydney, because this is the moment when the secret of The Alchemist was born. He invited me, my wife, and our PR lady, and we went to a restaurant. He said, I just want to thank you guys. I'm so grateful for your faith and your vision for my book. And he said, you know, look, Colm, I know that you made that call and that you were the first in the company to really believe in its potential. And I've asked God to what kind of thank you present I should give him. I was really excited because my colleague, he'd just given her a diamond ring as a thank you for all the PR work. So what's it going to be? Is it going to be a gold Rolex, something super expensive? I was all ears. And he said, I've asked the universe what I should give you, and I was told I should spend a day of my life doing my magic just for you, Colm, so that whatever you want in life, it will happen. You just need to decide what you want. And I thought a gold Rolex would have been really fun to own right now. But how superficial is that? I was up to my eyeballs in work. I felt trapped in my work, actually. Sounds like a glamorous job. I was really trapped. I was at a pivotal moment in my life, midlife crisis. I was 40 years old, and I decided that I was going to finally believe in my dream, which was to own my business, which was to become successful in my own right beyond working for major publishing companies. And over the next 2 or 3 months, without me even sort of being conscious of it, miracles began to happen from that night onwards. So the book is not just the story of my encounter with Paulo Coelho, but also what I learned when I began to actually go into The Alchemist, the original book by him, and discover what the secret was that I could see now playing out in my own life. So that's a long way of telling you why I called it The Secret of the Alchemist.
No, that is absolutely fascinating, Colm, and to think about your decision has had so much effect on so many people. 85 million plus people around the world now love this book. So can you tell us what the secret in the story of The Alchemist is?
Okay. Is this going to be a spoiler? Do you think? No, all right, okay. I'm always nervous. No, I'm not nervous. I'm fine. I'll do it. Okay, because you're probably going to want to read the book more, because I'm going to reveal the secret. And the secret may not be what you want to hear. For those people listening, if you've read The Alchemist, one of the things I ask people, what did you love about the book? What is it that made it so life-changing for you? Because it has. It's been a life-changing book for even celebrities. Even people like Oprah Winfrey cite it as a life-changing book. And quite frequently, the answer I get back is, it encouraged me to follow my dreams. which is amazing, was fantastic. The news I need to break is that actually that's not the real secret of The Alchemist. It's one of the benefits, it's one of the outcomes, but that's not what enables you to follow your dreams. There is something going on in that book that is a power in itself. It's quite magical. It might be a bit esoteric for some readers, and they don't see that. But the secret of The Alchemist, I'm going to reveal it now. If you don't want to know, plug your ears. This is the moment to plug your ears. Everybody else, the secret of The Alchemist is alchemy, the art of alchemy. Okay, you can tell people to unplug their ears now. So that is what leads and opens the door to a life of miracles. In my book, I explain, I go back in time, I look at the origins of alchemy, I look at its progression, its evolution, and there's a couple of characters who have been mostly significant in the resurrection, if you like, of that ancient wisdom. One of them was Isaac Newton, who was an alchemist, and the other was Carl Jung, who is an alchemist. And the third, of course, that I put on the list is Paulo Coelho, because up until he wrote that novel, the art and an understanding of the power of the reality that alchemy is has been hidden. But I have to say, it does have a bit of a nasty habit of hiding itself. So in my book, I tell the story of how I discovered that alchemy was the secret in the book, The Alchemist. And it was an eyes-open moment, as if I'd been staring at something in plain sight for years without really understanding its true nature. Once I got it, once I understood what this secret actually was, then I threw myself into studying it so that I could gain all the benefits. And I have to say, I mark my life. Before Paulo Coelho was okay, I was doing okay, and it was quite exciting. But after Paulo Coelho, I felt as though I entered into a completely new realm. And that's what I hope by reading my book, The Secret of the Alchemist, people will find and discover that same new world that I found.
But when you say miracles, do you mean magic? This incredible interview continues after these important messages.
Is the poltergeist syndrome the only type of paranormal phenomena that can really be proven? Read Poltergeist, a new investigation into destructive haunting today. Available on e-reader and wherever books are sold. Visit www.sixth-books.com for more information.
Become the alchemist of your world. In The Secret of the Alchemist, Colm Holland reveals how you can discover the power to miraculously change the world around you beyond all recognition and for the better. Colm will tell you the story of his encounter with Paulo Coelho and his best-selling book, The Alchemist, and how discovering the secret gave him the insights to achieve true empowerment in his life, and how you can too. Read The Secret of the Alchemist today, available from wherever books are sold. Visit www.o-books.com to learn how you too can become the alchemist of your life.
This is Jason Bland, host of Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup, where we stream live as a webcast every Sunday night, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, with guests who will blow your mind. Live ghost box sessions where you can call into the show to see if the spirits will talk to you, and the world wide web of weird with the latest in paranormal news and evidence. We're bringing the weird every Sunday night, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow and subscribe.
Are paranormal entities assaulting us? Ghost Sex to Violation is the best-selling true account and study of paranormal sexual abuse. Ghost Sex to Violation by G L Davies is available on Kindle and through Amazon. Pray this never happens to you.
What if the after effects of a near-death experience were undeniable? What if a person could suddenly produce high-quality paintings of the afterlife, or if they acquired the ability to compose classical symphonies? Read Shine On, the remarkable story of how I fell under a speeding train, journeyed to the afterlife, and the astonishing proof I brought back with me. Read Shine On today on e-readers and wherever books are sold. Visit www.o-books.com today.
Does Genesis teach that the human race was created by God? or engineered by ETs. Read Escaping from Eden today from wherever books are sold.
GL here, and before we get back to the interview, did you know you can listen to this podcast not only ad-free but with early VIP access as a TPC VIP Patreon. As a VIP, you will get 2 digital books, including my bestseller, Go Sex to Violation, to keep and read, plus digital content, 2 extra draws in our follower monthly book giveaway, and exclusive entry into a VIP Amazon gift voucher draw. This is the spooky part. All of that is just £3 or $3 to go VIP. So go VIP today so you don't hear ads like this again. Head over to www.patreon.com/TPC VIP. That's patreon.com/TPC VIP. On with the show.
Yes. No. Yes. No, both. Okay, I'm just confusing everybody. I mean magic, yes, and I mean miracles. It depends on your interpretation, your definition of that phenomenon. I come from a fairly traditional religious background in my early days, so the word miracles has always been significant to me personally. Others have not. So magic. Part of my story is another meeting that I had quite soon after meeting Paulo Coelho, with someone I've mentioned already called Wayne Dyer, sadly now passed away. Awesome force in the world of mind, body, spirit. And if you've not read his books, I recommend them. But he rang me. He called me personally one day, and I was in the middle of promoting his book called Real Magic. And he said something really significant to me, which I've never forgotten, which was, Colm, what I'd like you to do for me is to perform the same magic or alchemy that you've done on Paulo Coelho's book. I want you to do that for me, please, because it's obvious that you've got that skill. The problem was, up until he said that, I didn't realize I had it. It was hidden. My own gift was hidden from me. And the more I've discovered the gift of being able to perform miracles. So was my ability to envisage the potential of the novel The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, was that an act of magic? Was that a miracle? Yeah. Was I prepared to own that before Wayne Dyer said it? No. So this is significant for all of us, Gavin, right now, and I want to say this for everybody listening. We all possess this magic. We all possess this gift. It's latent. It's dormant for most of us. And one of the things that the story of The Alchemist, the novel itself, is Santiago, the shepherd's boy's journey to discovering that power. And how did he discover that power? Well, according to Paulo Coelho, he discovered it by understanding the basic principles of alchemy. Yes, alchemy is all about miracles and magic in that sense.
So in The Secret of the Alchemist, you outline what appears to be 3 stages of transformation based on ancient alchemical principles. Could you elaborate on those, please?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I'll keep this really relatively short because we could have a podcast that went on for hours on this. I won't. I promise I won't do it. I'll do it really simply. I'm going to use 3 colors. So I want you to imagine, just really briefly, the color black, then the color white, and then the color red. In some, if you want to go into more detail in alchemy, there are some other colors that kind of mix in to this process, but the process is represented by these 3 colors, and I talk about them in the book. Simply, black is all about the breaking down, the destruction, the falling apart of the things that we hold on to that are either useful or not useful in our psyche. So the way we think, the basis on which our identity is built, the masks behind which we live, the imagined lack of worth that we carry around, so many of us carry around, all of that in the alchemy process of the black phase has to be destroyed. I hate to say this, but reaching rock bottom is a really good thing if it's done in the context of alchemy. But if you don't understand what that context, a lot of people by nature live in the black phase. And I have to say congratulations to those people, because if you feel worthless, if you feel weak, if you feel you are powerless, then you are already in stage one of the alchemy stages. And I commend you for it. And what I hope I can offer you is a way through it. So how do you go through that stage? For me, I actually had to choose it. I deliberately, you must think I'm crazy just for deliberately choosing. I actually deliberately chose to go into the black phase. And in old Catholic terminology, it's called the dark night of the soul. Some people think that it just happens by chance. I'm actually telling people you can choose it, but only choose it if you really want to progress, because you can progress to what's called the white phase. The white phase is a cleansing. It's a purification. It's what Santiago did when he goes into the crystal shop in the story of the Alchemist. So the whole episode in the crystal shop where he's listening to the merchant, he learns to listen to the doubts and the fears of his own heart, that these are the blocks, these are the things that stop him from making that forward movement towards his treasure. He learns to purify those things, to turn what seems to be weak into his greatest strength, turns what seems to be lead and is worthless into the gold that's going to enable him to own his own treasure. So that's the white phase. Finally, the red phase. The red phase in alchemy means action. And the action that Santiago in the story is that he goes out into the desert. He meets the main character, who is the alchemist himself. When you enter into action, this is one of the key messages of my book, guys. If you remember nothing else from this, that when you go through the black, you enter into the white, and you choose then to take that weakness and believe it is your greatest strength. An alchemist will appear in your life. That's part of the magic. Everybody I know who's taken this journey, including Paulo Coelho, and if you read his other books, I also recommend, he talks about his own experience of a real alchemist in his own real life coming into his life. And that alchemist will help you unlock the power so you can begin to live a life of true empowerment, because that's what this is all about, everybody. We all want to live that life of true empowerment. When we feel that we are not empowered, we're disempowered, it's good, because that isn't how we're meant to live. That isn't what love wants for us. That isn't what the universe longs for us. The universe wants us to live a life of empowerment. So there you go. Black, white, red, really key to transformation.
That is incredible and something I can very much relate to. So I really thank you for sharing this. You know, I cannot stress enough to people how powerful The Secret of the Alchemist is. You refer consistently to Professor Carl Jung throughout your book. What does he have to do with alchemy?
Most people don't realize, because alchemy is not a popular subject, but he was an avid student of the principles of alchemy. And the reason for that was that those of you who've studied Carl Jung, who understand psychoanalysis, his particular version of psychoanalysis, he called true empowerment, he called it individuation. And individuation in his psychoanalysis theory is exactly the philosopher's stone that the alchemists used in their analogy of how to find that power that could turn things into gold, the elixir of youth, all the symbols of empowerment that the alchemists were. He studied them, and he realized that he could draw strong connections between their theories and his theory of analytical psychology. So that's why I talk about Carl Jung to a great extent, because he, in a way, he is the alchemist prophet of our time. And there's no question that Paulo Coelho used him and many other writers who were touching on alchemy principles in producing his book. So if you're a student of Carl Jung, if you've never read any Carl Jung, I strongly recommend it. The key, of course, in Jung's theory is twofold. One is that there lives within each of us this unconscious mind. The unconscious mind is where the dreams live. It's where we dream. It's where what Paulo Coelho often calls the second mind lives. It's where our doubts, our fears, our irrational fears live in the unconscious. Our visions live in the unconscious, our visions of close encounters of a third kind, if you like, our visions of terror in the night, all live in the unconscious. And that's where most of the blocks exist, according to Jung. They disempower us from entering into a life of fullness that we're meant to live as is our right as human beings. You have a right to live an empowered life, guys. This is not something that's extra special for extra special people. This is the entitlement. If we're entitled to anything in life, it is to live an empowered life. And Carl Jung said that he drew on the principles of alchemy for his theory. And obviously he facilitated thousands and thousands of people over time to enter into that empowered life.
Now, in The Secret of the Alchemist, there's quite a lot of alchemy speak, so to say, such as Emerald Tablet, Philosopher's Stone, Prima Materia, and the Great Work. What is the significance of these terms?
Most people miss the fact that they're all mentioned in Paulo Coelho's novel, The Alchemist. It's quite fun, actually, which is what I did many times, is I've gone back to the novel and I've actually hunted these phrases out. Because the more I began to study alchemy and its theories and its philosophy, the more I realized, hey, I've seen this somewhere before. Where have I? Of course, it's in the story. It's all there. And he very cleverly introduces them as the stepping stones that Santiago, the hero of the story, has to pass through. So the alchemist talks to him about the Emerald Tablet. And in my most recent blogs, I'll talk a bit more towards the end about my blog. One of the very first chapter in my blog is about the Emerald Tablet. And the Emerald Tablet is the first record. It's like a poem that encapsulates and archives the basic principle of alchemy. And I'm not going to recite it now. It's in my book. You can go to my book. You can look it up on Google. The first person to translate it into English was Isaac Newton, and it was the principles of the Emerald Tablet that he used to direct his discovery in modern physics. So there's no divide in my mind between physics, nuclear physics, quantum physics, and these things. The Philosopher's Stone, by the way, is the alchemist. It's you. The aim is that we become the Philosopher's Stone. Oh, where have I heard that before? Harry Potter. Okay. So yes, J.K. Rowling. Not many people know this, as Michael Caine would say, is that J.K. Rowling studied alchemy for 2 years before she began to write the Harry Potter series. So there is alchemy in there as well. It is influenced by it. So they all appear there. They are significant terms. They work for some people as metaphors. For some people, they're not that useful, but they're there if you find them useful.
Paulo talks about how we each have our own personal legend. Do you agree with this? How do you understand that?
Personal legend isn't actually in the novel. It's something that he talks about separately. The problem is that we think we understand destiny. I'm not going to go into a great treatise on fate and destiny and is it all written or do we write it ourselves and so on. But one of the clearest things that comes out of Paulo's novel is that the theory that we have no control over our lives is the greatest lie in the universe. We all do have control over our lives. In the theory of the alchemist and in alchemy is that we do create our own destiny. We can choose our destiny. We can be the captain of our own ship. We can steer it where we want. The problem is actually physically doing that is one of the hardest things we'll ever face. It's easier to believe in fate, to sit back, oh, que sera, sera. What will be, will be. There's nothing I can do about it. So I'll just let life pour itself onto me. Who can do anything about it? Well, alchemy says we beg to differ. It is the greatest challenge that we all face. And let me tell you part of the secret of how you can move from what most of us call fate into a personal legend, which is your own chosen destiny. The secret is love. I was talking to somebody yesterday and I was saying I'm metaphorically, I've been spending this lockdown period trying to concoct the elixir of youth. I looked in the mirror the other day and I thought, yes, the sooner I can get this happening, the better, before it's too late. The elixir of youth has got lots of ingredients, but you need enthusiasm, you need passion, you need positivity, you need faith, you need hope, you need all those things. They can all go into the test tube and stay. But you know what you've got to shake it up with? And it's a secret ingredient that only you possess and only I possess for my elixir of youth, and that is dreams. You have to resurrect your dreams, everybody. The buried dreams, the forgotten dreams, the dreams of a better life, the dreams of being important to people, all those dreams of valuing ourselves and so on. That the moment you put that into the test tube of the elixir of youth, then guess what? You begin your own personal legend and the magic that begins. So where does that desire come from to do that? Ironically, it comes from love itself. Love, the universe, if you like, wants us to live that life. That is where that desire in the heart comes. So don't suppress it. Please, everybody, can you stop suppressing your dreams? Can you begin to believe in them again? Because they are the key. They are the little key in Alice in Wonderland that opens the door. And a lot of it lives in our unconscious. That's where Santiago discovered his dream, in his sleep, in his unconscious self. And the moment we begin to value them and let them out again, that's when the life of magic begins.
This is incredibly powerful. You believe that we can actually change reality and the outcome of our future, but some would just say it's just fate.
Yeah.
How would you respond to that?
Fate is always easy retrospectively. You can always look back and attribute things to fate. It's impossible to attribute fate to the future. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because we don't know the future. So fine, I have no issue with people if it gives them some sense of comfort when bad things happen or difficulties occur and so on. If that kind of lets them off the hook, oh, it wasn't anything I decided, oh, it wasn't anything that I chose, or it wasn't a circumstance that I, okay, maybe I accidentally created because I made these choices, or I reacted in this way to these people, or I did this or I did that. That's fine. But the reality is you chose those things. And the force that often that moves us to make the wrong choice sometimes, or let me put it this way, not the wrong choice, a choice that's not best for us, a choice that's an easy choice rather than a hard choice, the road that's the easiest to travel rather than the road that's the hardest to travel, then they come from things in the unconscious self, according to Jung, and I believe this as well, that have not been healed. We carry wounds, we carry pain, we carry disabilities, emotional disabilities that make life feel like it's controlled by fate. That's not fate. That's the unhealed self, quite often from childhood, from conception onwards, even before conception. I am going to write a book about the you before conception, because I've actually done a lot of work on that as well. That's a subject for another time.
Yes.
But these things mold and shape a life. You can allow love to heal those things and stop that control. You can stop the hurdles from appearing. You can stop making the wrong choices. It doesn't mean you won't make wrong choices, but if you make those choices from a different place within the new self, then that is your personal legend. And guess what? You can build a new reality from now. Everybody, today, now, you can begin to create a new reality should you choose it. And, how do I know this? It's because the whole of love wants this for you. And I have been working on your behalf even before you read this book, so that when you do read this book, I have already asked love to give you everything that you need to become the alchemist in your world and to change your world for the better.
That is absolutely superb. And this is such a powerful message. And I think now more than ever, people are really going to embrace this. So where can people read The Secret of the Alchemist? And where can people contact you to find more about your amazing work, your blogs, your social media, your live appearances?
I'm an endorsed author on Amazon, so you'll find me on Amazon. Colm Holland, COLM HOLLAND. On Amazon, you'll find it, Secret of the Alchemist. All best online bookshops, Kindle, it's available, Barnes and Noble. And when bookstores reopen, you'll be able to order the book in bookstores as well. If you want a signed exclusive, I've only got a few left, but But if you want an exclusive signed copy, you can go to my website, which is just colmholland.com, and you can find me on Facebook. I have the Colm Holland page, Twitter, Instagram, all of those places. I'd love to hear from you. I really, really enjoy. I'm right now. I'm working with at least a dozen people on their own alchemy journeys, and we're having a ball because this is a great time during this lockdown period, Gavin, that we're talking in at the moment, to give some time to ourselves in this field.
More now than ever do people need this message. So head to www.colmholland.com. That is COLMHOLLAND.com. That is colmholland.com. The book has certainly had its effect on me. This is true. This is gospel. I can't explain it. It just does. You've heard Colm talk about the power of the alchemist. And if you're looking for positive change, then you need to read The Secret of the Alchemist as soon as you can. Magic does exist. Miracles do happen. Just read The Secret of the Alchemist and you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Do not take my word for it. Read it yourself. So head over to www.colmholland.com. The book is available Amazon, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, on all e-readers. And if you want more information, head to www.o-books.com for more information on this incredible life-changing journey that Colm is going to set you upon. So Colm, with so many people desperately struggling in these uncertain times, please could you leave us with something to give hope, that ingredient to making their lives so much better?
When you just asked me that question, there's an immediate thought that comes, guys, the soul of the universe needs you right now. It needs you. And by that, what I mean is that when we think, when we meditate, when we act, doesn't matter in which direction we do that, with fear, in depression, with anxiety, or with positive thoughts, with loving thoughts towards others, whichever it is, the soul of the universe, the collective unconscious that we are all part of in our unconscious minds, is either nurtured or is diminished by you and me. So if you want to do one thing to help yourself, but also to help the universe right now, it's to commit yourself to transformation and to commit yourself. Maybe you need to start writing a diary, write a little blog, even if nobody ever sees it, doesn't matter. The universe will absorb that energy. So yes, please turn your thoughts towards love, unconditional love, to your family, to your friends, to those in your neighborhood, to the world at large, those that are suffering right now, those who are in hospital, those on the front line, those responsible for making the decisions of our future. Send them all love because they need it, and it will make a difference.
That is an incredible and powerful message, people. You've heard that from Colm Holland, the author of The Secret of the Alchemist. Colm, we have been so blessed to have you join us tonight and spend your precious time with us to make the world a better place. Thank you, and good luck with the launch of The Secret of the Alchemist. Thank you, Colm.
Thank you, Gavin. Blessings, everyone.
international chart-topping Haunted, Horror of Haverfordwest has been described as terrifyingly real, a must-read, shocking and chilling brilliance, genuinely worrying and chilling, utterly frightening. Don't read before bed. Described as one of the spookiest writers out there, best-selling author G L Davies presents Haunted, Horror of Haverfordwest, the true paranormal account that is shocking the world. Dare you enter? Dare you read? Haunted, Horror of Haverfordwest is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, and wherever books are sold. Pray you never have to live there.